Do, do, do.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the More Joy podcast, where, what is it? We enjoy, we don't endure. Is that the new one? I keep getting...
Brad.
Where more joy is, I'm still learning our tagline.
Oh my goodness. Life is to be enjoyed and not endured.
Well, I know that one.
I'm going to have to just bring it back to that because you can't ever...
You edited it, and it's a great edit, by the way. It's more concise, more punchy, just like you. More concise, more punchy.
It says, don't just endure.
Don't just endure.
Enjoy. I love you.
Gotcha. Love you too. So anyway, that's what we're all about. Life is to be enjoyed and not endured. If we're not having a good time, then we need to rethink things and start over, right? So, hey, but this episode, we want to say thank you, as always, to our partners who make this possible.
Yes.
So please join the More Joy family as it's growing at thehollimans.com. What is that? There's a sticky button. Did I get that part right?
Yes, you did.
I want to keep calling it a floaty button.
Well, it does float.
I know. That's why I want to call it a floaty button, which is weird because it's a sticky button that floats. So that means it doesn't stick.
It does stick. When you scroll and keep scrolling up, it keeps staying there. Right. That's why it's called sticky.
But it floats because it also moves.
It's a
floaty, sticky button. That's a floaty, sticky. Anyway, so sorry.
Oh, Fred, I love you.
Hey, that's what we do this show for. It's awesome.
They'll never forget.
They'll never forget.
And they'll know exactly what button we're talking about.
That's right. That's the button, the floaty sticky button. Click on that, and you too can become part of the More Joy family. And so, we haven't done this while. And I want to say thank you to BGTV for creating just a lovely studio and a place to do our program and to share what's in our heart. And please, they put stuff on the screen, like it, share it, subscribe it, get out there and just help BGTV continue to grow its influence. Check out all the different content creators that are there. They just got some great stuff. Mm-hmm. But for this episode, what we want to talk about, and we'll see if we can keep it into one. Oh. I'm not making any promises anymore. I doubt it, but we're trying, is... We have talked about something for years that we call the rings of relationship.
Yes.
And since we saw that in the Bible, it has really helped us know how to properly engage with people, right? Properly, where are people? Where are people in our life?
Yeah.
Where are we in other people's lives? So that there's proper expectation, and it really has helped us on the kind of that side of the coin to avoid offense.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. Because when I really realize where I am in the rings of relationship with someone else, then I know what to expect as well.
Right.
So we're going to take some time and do that. I'm going to officially ask live and in person, maybe my lovely Canva assistant over here, we can create a little slide that we can share out for people on the webpage or something like a PDF that can go along with this. So be looking for that. We will put it in the comments if we have it ready by the time this actually posts and goes out there. But let's talk about it. What are then the rings of relationship? So as all things, Jesus is our pattern in life. And obviously we do mean his teaching, what he said, the lessons he taught are to be guides for our life. But we've also learned that his life itself
is a pattern.
Right. I remember, I wish I could give credit to who I heard this from, but there was someone, there's a verse we probably all know that Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. And yes, those are three distinct descriptors about Jesus. He is the way, he is the truth, and he is the life. But this minister I heard years ago said it like this, that it really stuck with me. But there is a Jesus way of doing things that leads to the Jesus truth that brings us the Jesus life.
Yeah.
So let me say that one more time. There is a way. Jesus wasn't bumbling through life.
No.
Right? He was living life very intentionally, very kingdom-minded, very Father-centered, right? I mean, even to the point that's what he said, hey, I do what I see my Father do.
Right.
Right? I live the way Father showed me how to live. I order my life the way Father showed me how to order my life. And so with that is where we got this concept that we call the rings of relationship, right? So if you can imagine, this will show up on the graphic, it's like, I'm an archer, so it's like a archery target where there's these rings that lead down to like a bullseye. So if you can kind of imagine that. And now, as we define these rings, I want to make sure this is very clear. Everyone was equally loved by Jesus.
Absolutely.
Because when we make distinctions, we can all fall prey to thinking, oh, well, they love so-and-so better than they love me.
Yeah.
Right? And we get into this weird, I don't know what we'd even call that, right? This weird kind of false way of living where we're like, oh, well, you're in this category, so you're less loved. I'm in this category, I'm more loved. I guess it's because we do call it like inner circles. Right. Like we sit, and so there is an aspect of inner circling we're going to talk about, but not from an unloving thing. And we have seen, not I hope, and I'm going to quit using that leaking my power, as my friend says. We have seen that this is what's helped people understand inner circles.
Yeah.
Right. This will help you actually understand, and then also help you understand if you would like to be in an inner circle.
What you can do.
What you can do to be in an inner circle. All right. So with that, all these rings in Jesus's life, these are the rings of the relationships that Jesus had with people. Now, again, everyone was equally loved. Everyone was equally served, meaning that all of these rings, they experienced Jesus's ministry. They experienced his power. They experienced all of that. So he wasn't withholding from anybody.
Correct.
But there was distinction in the rings, and that distinction mattered.
Yes.
Right. So now let's do it. Oh, I left my keys up here. I'm gonna put my keys down here. So if you go out in this little target thing, the far outside ring, we would call the multitudes. So if y'all remember, over and over again it says, and Jesus was with the multitudes, or the multitudes pressed in around him, or the multitudes of people were there, they thronged him.
Or he fed them.
Yeah. And they were literally thousands, multitudes. Like, the feeding of the 5,000, they said there was 5,000 men there, right? And then we say probably more than 5,000 if you add up women and children and who all might have been there. So if every man brought a date, it was about 10,000 folks that showed up. So that was
more. That's conservative, yeah.
Right. So there was a multitude of people, right? That's where the outside ring is. And it's interesting on that one because, the multitudes weren't very engaged. They were present. They were there.
They were listening.
Right. But if you look, even Jesus said, now this is the Brad paraphrase version of the Bible, is Jesus said this about the multitudes. They're just here for the free food and the miracles. Yeah. That's why they're here.
And yet he gave them the free food and continued to give them miracles.
And so he wasn't upset about that.
He was still loving them, yeah.
Absolutely, right? He didn't feel used or abused.
No, he didn't take that personally and get offended.
Yeah, he just said, "Oh, I know," because guys, listen, and just to kind of let the cat out of the bag in case this goes to multiple episodes, what you're going to notice is what determines depth in the rings is willingness to engage.
Not from Jesus.
Not from Jesus.
From the hearer.
And so even in your life, how do we know where people fit in the rings? It's what is their willingness to engage with who you are. Right? Now, this probably is going to predicate all kinds of other teachings because we don't even know what to do with that because most of the time, as deep as we all go is, hi, my name's Brad. right?
Yeah.
And I'm a white guy from Alabama. I'm in my 50s. I'm a conservative leaning person. I'm whatever I am, and that's as far as we go. Mm-hmm. So we can't be shocked if people only engage with us at surface level, mm-hmm. if all we introduce people to is surface level.
Right.
Right. If all they know about me is just what's on the outside, then I am going to lock people just into the multitudes.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's just, they won't know how to engage.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So again, a whole nother conversation for a whole nother episode about that's why it's so important that we learn who is God made me to be.
Yes.
And then to consistently hone
mm-hmm.
who God has made me to be.
And then bring who God made me to be
to the table.
And offer it to people constantly.
Yeah. Absolutely. Very
good. And that
good.
goes way deeper than just the surface level.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right. So Jesus had the multitudes, this mm-hmm. outer ring of people who were there. They were present. They followed him around. Mm-hmm. I mean, these were good-hearted people. These were, mm-hmm. They were engaged as much as they knew how to be engaged. Mm-hmm. And Jesus realized, they're just here for the ministry. That's all they're here for. Yeah. They're here for the food, the miracles. They're here for whatever reason that they're here. Mm-hmm. Right. But then it's interesting because the next ring in, we might call the upper room ring, mm-hmm. or the 120. So if you remember in the book of Acts, after Jesus has been crucified, he's been resurrected and appeared. It's right before when Pentecost is about to happen. It says that there were 120 of his disciples mm-hmm. who were in the upper room that day. Mm-hmm. So that meant that when the brown smelly stuff of life hit the ventilation unit, you know what I'm saying? Right? When things happened in Jesus's life, his life got boiled down from thousands to 120.
Right. Yeah.
So in reality, his close associations were capped at 120. Mm-hmm. Now, listen, that's interesting, and I'll have to see if I can go back and find the article. But I would remember reading a number of years ago when all of this, again, when we were seeing this and this was formulating, mm-hmm. that in like sociological or psychological studies, they now know mm-hmm. that as a human being, mm-hmm. we have what I call people ports.
Right.
People connectors. And they know that you have about mm-hmm. 120 to 150. Some folks might bump 200, mm-hmm. but that would be the largest. But they say about 120 and 150 people ports mm-hmm. is what we have in our biology, meaning you have about 120 slots that you can actually connect somebody into mm-hmm. and have some form of deeper or more meaningful or more significant relationship.
So if you've, like us, if you've ever moved from one place geographically to another, and you're there, and I mean, you're working with the people you're working with, so those people are already going to be
plugged in. They got people
in because you're there. But then when you're trying to start building community, it may seem hard at first because everybody's already maxed on their ports.
Yeah.
It's not personal.
Very well said. That's right.
It literally is just, it fries their fritter to have one more person who wants to come in and do more life with me and build more community with me. And
absolutely.
It takes a little while for people to go, because psychologically what's having to happen is you're unplugging someone and then, these people are nice. Let me plug them in here.
Yes,
but that's
very
a
good
process.
It is.
And they have to kind of decide to do that.
Yeah, well, and that's a great, because literally once your ports are full.
They're full.
They're full. And to bring in a new association, it has to be intentional. It has to be intentional.
Yeah.
And you literally have to make a decision at some level and go, I'm going to disconnect Brad mm-hmm. and I'm going to plug in Celina.
Yeah.
Because I want to have a relationship. And sorry, Brad.
Yeah.
Right? Again, you're not saying I don't love you.
Right.
You're not saying I don't care. Because why is this important? You might be a member of a very large church. Because, we having been in pastoral ministry now for 25 years. Wow. Having experienced and been a part of churches of all size, from just a dozen to 3,000, right? If you're part of a bigger church, the complaint I hear all the time is, they'll name the big church. That church over there, that big mega church, they're just so cliquey. Have you ever heard that before, Jacob? About a big church being cliquey.
Oh, they just have their cliques.
They're just all cliquey. Do you realize that it's not cliquey? It's their ports are full.
Yeah.
So it actually helps you love people better because these people aren't being cliquey.
They just gravitate to a smaller group because that's all we can actually handle socially.
So that's why you see larger churches, as an example, will fracture, and I use that as a very strong word. I wish there was a better one. Into these smaller groups. They will filter, maybe that's a better word. They will filter into these groups of about 120 to 150 because that's all biologically we're able to handle. So these churches aren't being cliquey, they're just being human. So free people, right? And but in this, you see this jump. So what made the difference between the multitude and the 120 was their level of engagement, right? They engaged more.
Yes.
They
traveled, they followed Jesus around, right? They traveled with him.
They were intentional.
They were intentional.
You're going to keep hearing us say these two words over and over again. They were intentionally engaged. They probably, in some fashion, they verbally, physically, emotionally, financially, who knows, in many different ways, they demonstrated to Jesus, we want to be in.
We want to be here with you.
We want to be here with you.
With whatever it is you're making right now.
And then you saw on Jesus' side, and he made space for them.
Yes, he did.
He made room. He said, oh, okay, I see you.
Yeah.
I see who you are. Beyond just your name and the exterior, beyond just the identifiers of the multitude. I see who you are. Jesus made space and they engaged.
I want to make a quick parenthesis.
Please do. Yeah, go ahead.
Because you've heard that when you are wanting to grow in your life, that you should look for people that you're wanting to be like. And if you haven't heard that, that is one of the best principles that you can do, because the people that you hang out with, that's who you're going to be like. And so the whole proverbial birds of a feather flock together and go to the same place. So
they roost in the same tree.
If at some point, yes, they do. So if at some point you look up in your life and you go, is that where I, where I want to end up? And if it's not where you want to end up, and you start looking around going, where do I want to end up? Oh, so-and-so, I want that. I want what they have. And so-and-so, I want what they have. That's what we're talking about, that you observe, and then you're intentional. Because you're all of a sudden going to, I'll just give a very probably big example everybody can relate to, okay? You've got your preachers that you listen to online, right?
Yeah.
Because you've only got so much time and you've only got so much bandwidth to bring it all in. And then somebody comes along, oh yeah, we hear so-and-so and we just love them. And you're like, well, you don't even acknowledge it too much because you've already got the ones you love. But then if you find yourself in a situation where you're like, I don't know how to handle XYZ kind of situation, and the people that this friend of mine mentioned actually speak to that, I need to go over there and listen to that. What did you just do? You observed, and then you intentionally went and plugged in, so to speak, to someone else. But in order to give your time there, most likely you had to drop somebody else for a season, because there's only so much time, there's only so much bandwidth.
Yeah. Well, and to add a verse into that, now you got me going.
I know, I'm sorry.
Is to add a verse into that. Yes, let us.
Excuse us.
We're going to take a drink of water. Me. Okay, no.
There
But
you go.
come on, this is the More Joy podcast. Right? We're going to have a good time. Raw, unfiltered, uncensored, all the stuff. But to put a verse into what you just said, because there's a verse, I believe it's in the book of Hebrews. I was trying to remember the exact address of the verse. But
You're really good at that.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
But the writer says this. He says, "Mark those
Yes.
who through faith and patience have obtained the promises."
Yes.
Now, to unpack that, because this is a good place to kind of bring this in here, because again, intentionality, engagement, on purpose. How do you move deeper into these rings of relationship with people? Mm-hmm. How do you know who to allow to come deeper into relationship with you? Is this engagement piece, right? So the writer says, mark those who through faith and patience have inherited the promises. I remember years ago, I looked up that word in the Greek language, mark there. And again, the Brad paraphrase version would say this. It literally means intentionally sit down with a notebook and take notes, make marks. It doesn't just mean, oh yeah, I see you, them. I notice you, wow, you kind of have a cool life. That's pretty cool. I wish I could be like you one day. It literally means, like we say this to young married couples all the time, you know, in premarital counseling, you need to look in your church and you need to look around. Yes, you need to look around and go, man, I like what I see in that couple's marriage.
Right.
I like how they talk to each other. I like how they visibly treat each other in public. I listen to how they speak. I want to be like them.
Right.
So you literally go up and go, hello, my name's Brad. I like the way you do marriage. Would you like to go to lunch? I'm buying, and I'd like to ask you a few questions. I know that might seem a very forward and bold and creepy, so maybe you don't necessarily fully lead that way. I'm now old enough that doesn't bother me anymore. But when you're younger, you might look and go, hey, can we hang out sometime? Yeah. But you are literally intentionally noticing, wow, I can see they have inherited the promises, right? I can see through their faith and their endurance, their patience, man, they are where I want to be. I'm going to go pursue a relationship with them, right? And I'm going to ask them questions because I want to be like them when I grow up. Now, listen, this is two ways. So that's what that means. Right. You see people that you want to be like, that's okay. That's not being a copycat. No. That's called discipleship.
Yeah. Follow me as I follow Christ.
Right. Again, we're going to get into it. That was what happened with Peter and John. Was it Peter and John? No, back up. No, it was two of John the Baptist's disciples. Right. I think it was Andrew and another one. Anyway, it was two of John the Baptist's disciples were there that day when John said, behold the Lamb of God who takes away the sins of the world. These two disciples of John the Baptist heard and saw Jesus, and we'll go in deeper and notice some things, and literally said, bye, John, and then went and started following Jesus, and apparently were just annoying enough in the following of Jesus that he turns around to them and goes, what are y'all looking for? I love it. What are you seeking? It says in New King James. What are you seeking? I've been noticing you're hanging out here. And then their answer was, and I love this, their answer was not, well, Jesus, do you have a podcast? Well, Jesus, do you have a new book out there we can buy? Hey, Jesus, how do we become a partner in your ministry? Hey, Jesus, They literally looked at Jesus and said, where do you live?
I love that.
Again, in the Brad paraphrase, they were like, hey, how you do that?
Yeah, I love that.
How are you living the life we've been noticing?
Right.
How is that? And Jesus then said, come and see. Yes. And guys, listen, it's that exchange that you're looking for. Yeah. Right? That to be like those two disciples, if I see people that I want to be like, following is part of the kingdom. I want to be like you, right? And so I'm going to go and begin to follow. But then as the one people are following, to look around and go, so what you looking for? And give those people an opportunity to engage and tell you what they're looking for. And then make room for them. Right. And we'll get into more detail in that because we're bumping up against our time. Because this is, we have found this to be so powerful.
Yes.
In again, knowing who to let into your life at what level.
Yes.
At what depth. Knowing how to make space for them.
Yeah.
Right. How to make room for them.
Yeah.
How to identify them. Because then you know, guys, then you know who to live for.
Exactly.
Right? Because Jesus died
for everyone.
Right? But he only opened his life up beginning at 120 and going deeper.
Yes. Yeah.
Right? He didn't open up his life to the whole multitude. It was a very, if you will, select few, but that select wasn't just this divine eeny, meeny, miny, mo. It was based on how engaged were these people with who he was and what he was doing. So anyway, we're going to hit pause right there and stop. Again, thanks for watching. We so enjoy spending this time with you.
Yes.
Thank you for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed, do please hit subscribe, both to our channel and here to BGTV. And until next time, what is it? Remember, don't just endure, enjoy.